Pope put on these things. We'll go through some of them. The Council of State's position, and if you go to Article 291, which the Parliament is following, 291 says, a bill to amend a provision of this Constitution, which is not an entrenched provision, shall not be introduced into Parliament unless A, it has been published twice in the Gazette, with the second publication being made at least 3 months after the first, and B, at least 10 days have passed after the second publication. 2, the Speaker shall, after the first reading of the bill in Parliament, refer it to the Council of State for consideration and advice, and the Council of State shall render advice on the bill within 30 days after receiving it. So that is the procedure that is being followed. It says, where Parliament approves the bill, it may only be presented to the President for his assent if it was approved at the second and third readings of Parliament by the votes of at least 2/3 of all members of Parliament. So if members of Parliament represent us, the question is it something that people agree to now?
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to people. One of the people that I used to hold this position with, that there's nothing. They should allow them. This provision should be made away with. Also change his mind. So
Yeah.
people are leaving the position.
But I think
very fast.
The Constitution is clear. I didn't even know we have this level of specificity regarding what must be done.
Oh, yes. It's
and then we should just leave it as is. What is the debate about then?
The debate is
the rule that, because or the other areas where dual citizens can occupy, that's what has come under contention.
They want to open it all up. Like no. Dual citizen, you should be able to occupy all.
No.
You disagree?
I disagree.
Charlie.
I disagree.
We'll come to why you disagree.
Yeah.
Let's speak to Alhaji Inusa Fuseini. Alhaji Inusa Fuseini, former member of party, he's held all those positions that they say if you're a dual citizenship, you can a dual citizen.
Is he a dual citizen?
You cannot. There are some that, of course, he's not been chief of staff before. Have you joined the police service at any point in your life, Alhaji?
The police service? No, I've been a teacher.
Teacher?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My first job was a teacher.
Oh, okay.
Trained teacher. I'm a product of Bagabaga Training College.
Okay. You went through training college, taught for some
time. Taught before I came to University of Ghana.
Okay.
And did the law.
Okay. Well, it's nice to have you on the line. First, the Council of State is saying no. The status quo should be maintained. That you should not make changes to Article 8 when it says people who hold dual citizenship should not be allowed to hold certain positions. What do you think?
Well, I think that we need to look at the issue of dual citizenship carefully. I'm of the considered view that there are certain positions that the person who is Ghanaian by birth or whose parents are Ghanaians by birth should be able to occupy, even if he has residence of another country. For instance, the Office of the Special Prosecutor. When we were passing the law, we needed to get somebody who will work diligently to protect the public purse and fight corruption. There were Ghanaians out there who had the technical expertise, who had seen how such offices operate in other jurisdictions, who probably had worked in such offices. The law ought to have made provision for such persons if they were desirous of working to contribute to the development of our country, to be given the permission to do that. Opportunity to do that, no permission, opportunity to do that. Well, of course, if you hold the citizenship of another country, you cannot be the president of our country. No, you can't be. You can also be a member of parliament of our country. You can't be, unless you renounce that citizenship. Of course, there are many other positions that should be possible for a person who is a Ghanaian by birth to occupy, even if he owes the residence or he has the residence of another country.
So you insist that there are some things that we should never agree to.
You see, when you look at yeah, I agree that if a person owes this or has the citizenship of another country, that person, unless he renounces that citizenship, cannot be our president. Okay, he cannot be our president. And I also agree that the person who owes allegiance to another country might not be able to be a member of parliament of our country. You simply cannot serve two masters in respect of certain positions in the state. You need your allegiance to be one. But it should be possible for a person who owns the citizenship of another country to be our Chief Justice. It should be possible.
The Chief Justice?
Should be possible. Yes.
Why?
Why? Our citizens who have been justices of the Superior Court of Judicature have been Chief Justices in another country. And we've not had report. Gambia has had a Chief Justice who has been a Ghanaian. And we didn't hear of Gambians complaining that because of his allegiance to Ghana, he's compromised his position as Chief Justice of Gambia. Or you heard something like that?
No.
So it should be possible.
Okay, so there's a position that's being held by listeners. They essentially agree with you that the status quo should stay, that there should be no changes. But one of the things they are suggesting is that we should learn from the Ken Ofori-Atta example. If that Ken Ofori-Atta example should be applied, then somebody who is Chief Justice, who controls a substantial budget, could blow and plow through that budget and perhaps escape. Will spend 4 or 5 years just trying to get him down to answer questions. So if we're applying that, or that for you is not a consideration when you are taking your position?
If you are a citizen of Ghana and you take the citizenship of another country and you commit a crime against the Republic of Ghana, and Ghana has a relationship with that country with which you have this acquired citizenship, that matter can be solved through the diplomatic channel. You see, accountability is now a global phenomenon. It's not a global norm. The fact that Ken Ofori-Atta has gotten a resident permit in America does not insulate him against, what we call arrest in America and repatriation to Ghana to stand trial.
So for you, that is not the issue. If that's not the issue, then what is it that should bar these people from being Chief of Staff, Cabinet Secretary, Member of Parliament, maybe even the President, as long as they do their work well?
The complications will be where the person is holding. And let me come back to the question of how this thing came up, why it was difficult, and it found our way into the law that people who owed allegiance, it is a matter of allegiance to another country. Allegiance to another country. Now, allegiance itself was owed to a king or a queen, where the state was the queen or the king. And so, in the medieval ages, you could not owe allegiance to two kings. You were then a traitor. Then the whole concept of governance and democracy evolved. And now, sovereignty is in the people, is vested in the people, no longer a king or a queen or a person, an individual. It's now to the state. Now, there is not yet evidence that a person has owed allegiance to the state and to another state, and that person has been a traitor with the evolution of this modern concept of allegiance and being a traitor. That development was reminiscent of the era in which the sovereignty resided in an individual. And so these sovereigns had agents. And so these agents, they could be even double agents. An agent owing allegiance to England and owing allegiance to France. And when such an agent was found out, he was beheaded. He couldn't hold those positions. And those positions were actually positions of the king's court. But now it's different. All the issues we've heard about spies and whatnot, spying on other countries, are persons who do not owe allegiance to another country. There are persons who owe allegiance to only one country, but have been caught for spying for another country.
So you agree with the Council of State?
I agree to the extent that I think that we need to open up certain positions for Ghanaian citizens by birth, but who owe the residence permit or citizenship of another country to be able to occupy, and limit it to positions like the president, the chief justice, not chief justice, the member of parliament.
Okay, so Article 8 is explicit. So are you suggesting that if you are a dual citizen, you should be allowed to be an ambassador or high commissioner, secretary to the cabinet?
Secretary, yes.
But you're just talking about spy. Is it spying?
I'm saying that there's no evidence that person who owns dual citizens have been caught spying for another country. There's no such evidence.
Chief of Defense Staff or any service chief?
There is no such evidence.
Inspector General of Police?
Oh, look in the developed countries. Richard Sunak, or what was his name? The former British Prime Minister. Was a native Indian.
Yes.
He rose to become the Prime Minister of UK. Bandanok, who is the opposition leader in Britain, is a native Nigerian, a Yoruba. He is the leader of the opposition in England. Barack Obama, born in the United States to a Kenyan father and an American mother, rose up to be the leader of America. No one accused him of owing allegiance to Kenya. These are the issues that we are talking about. Yes, at that point, they were native. They had the. They didn't owe allegiance to any other country. They owed allegiance to the countries to which they had been elected leaders. But obviously, they were not native to those countries. But no one accused them of sabotaging the countries for which they had emerged as leaders. And they contributed to the development of those countries.
Alhaji, in wartime, your chief of defense staff is very important too.
But who says that in wartime your chief of defense staff will reveal secrets to another country?
But should you not prevent the potential of that happening? The possibility.
But it has never happened. That is why I'm saying that let's not conjure or dream up instances where it could happen. because there's no evidential basis for that. It has never happened. If you know a wartime chief of staff revealing the war plans of his country, of the country in which he is the chief of staff or chief of defense staff, to a country other than that country, then you can mention that. We don't find that evidence. It's just the fear. It's just the fear that we have. It's a fear that until we conquer that fear, we might not be able to get the required human resource to develop our country. It's just a fear. And that fear is in our head. There's no evidence that such a person will reveal the secrets of the country to which he has been given the opportunity to serve.
So you're not against an amendment to Article 8.2?
In fact, while in Parliament, I had met those in the diaspora, particularly Koko Azar, and we had agreed with him that it was important to look at some of the positions to which the blanket prescription applied. And I cited the example of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Up to now, I do not understand why we limited the eligibility to that Office of the Special Prosecutor to only Ghanaians or persons who do not owe allegiance to any other country.
I see, but but you're saying that 94.2 should not be touched.
Parliament, yes.
Parliament, and that affects the presidency, the vice presidency. Can you be a minister if you're not qualified to be a member of Parliament?
Well, so we can make that exception.
You can make that exception to allow them to be ministers.
Yes, to be ministers.
But for members of Parliament, the presidency and the vice presidency, no go area.
No.
But if you allow people into sensitive security positions, what is it about members of Parliament and the presidency that should not be that they shouldn't occupy?
Because of the transactions that they do. Because look at their oath of office. So because of what they do for the country. In fact, they are representatives of the people. A member of Parliament is a representative of the people. And the people are the people of Ghana. And so if they are electing their representatives, that representative should be a Ghanaian.
I see. Well, thank you. Thank you as always for speaking to us, Alhaji. Yeah. Alhaji Inusa Fuseini is former minister, former member of Parliament. I just found out this morning he's a former teacher. Of course, he's a lawyer, trained lawyer. Currently, he's mostly into farming. But taking us 29 minutes past 8 here in the studios. Of course, this discussion will go on. Our listeners have expressed their views loud and clear. So I think perhaps there's some clarity. So first, this is what Parliament is working on, because it's not an entrenched clause. Article 8 says, with clause 2, without prejudice to Article 94, Article 94 deals with disqualification, not qualification. What disqualifies you from becoming a member of Parliament is dealt with by Article 94 of the Constitution. And it says, no citizen of Ghana shall qualify to be appointed as a holder of any office specified in this clause if he holds the citizenship of any other country in addition to his citizenship of Ghana. That's Article 8. That can be amended without a referendum. It can go through Parliament. And that's the process that they've started, gone to the Council of State says, no, don't do this. But like the Supreme Court famously said, advice is advice. If you like, take it. If you like, don't take it. So the Speaker has attached the advice of the Council of State to the bill that is being mooted by 4 members of Parliament. I'll go through their names shortly and say, go to the Constitutional and Legal Committee and let them deliberate on it and come back to the House, advise the House on what it is to do. What it has to do. And it says, 1, if you are a dual citizen, you cannot be an ambassador or high commissioner. You cannot be a secretary to the cabinet, chief of defense staff, or any service chief, inspector general of police, commissioner, customs, excise, and preventive service, director of immigration service, and any office specified by an act of parliament. Alhaji says even the UK and others allow people who are dual citizens to occupy these sensitive security positions.
With the Jachikwesin law. Jachikwesin law.
Somebody is even pointing out that Rishi Sunak, the former British Prime Minister, the parents were born in Africa, even though I think they are Indian. Yes. His dad was born in Kenya, his mom Tanzania. So this man is Indian, Tanzanian, Kenyan, and British. One man, Indian, Tanzanian, Kenyan, British. So fantastic. He is everywhere. But he chooses to serve the people of the United Kingdom. And Alhaji says, as long as there's no evidence of anybody having taken advantage of that, you cannot use it against them. But Alhaji is against anybody touching Article 94(2). That's for members of parliament and the president of the republic. Do not go there. President, vice president, don't go there. We can try and make exceptions for people who want to be ministers. That can be allowed. But vice president, president, parliament, no. Me too. When I come back and read Article 8 and then look at the positions involved, anyway. Nancy, what do you think?
Benefit, yes, that
there are benefits.
Maybe I'm in the different. I'm in the middle. When you look at it on the